the headphones, they can hear me. Turn on the desktop audio, they can hear you. Can you talk real quick? Okay, cool. You're probably like, what the heck? I just needed basically a baseline of where you're talking, because it goes, we should adopt the squid. Because yeah, I changed it because last night the music was very loud for the game. So yeah. Let's do that. Let's make sure it's capping the right screen. It is. So yes. Anyways, hi, hello. I haven't said hi to the stream yet. Hi, there's nobody here. It's fine. But today we're reading a fanfic again. But this time, Inky has no idea what it is.
She hasn't told me anything. I'm very concerned.
No. I promise it's not going to be anything inappropriate. I don't think it is. I did do like a quick skim of this, so I do kind of know the general plot and what generally happens and what's going on during it.
The fact that you have to keep defending it is making me more and more scared.
Well, I just know the last one we were like, neither of us have read this, so let's hope for the best. So I tried to not do that this time. I have a smoothie. It's a cherry
and you're not
banana
sharing?
smoothie. Well, like, you're a couple hours away from me, honey.
I mean, just spit into the mic. I'll feel it.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, who do we have specifically for each character? Let me make sure. I haven't checked that. But yeah, as I was saying, this is for some weird reason, it's one of my favorite tropes, or as some of you may know it, it's one of my fake, it's a fake disease. And it's, for some weird reason, I really love it.
Disease.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So, surprisingly, not surprisingly, because this is a thing that was very big, when I started on the fanfic scene. I'm a garden, lol. So let me make sure. So you have techno. I have George, right? So you have Snapnap. Sapnap?
Snapnap.
Snap.
Snapnap.
So the characters are Sapnap, Dream, George, Sam, and Daryl.
Daryl. Oh, you mean bad.
Oh.
So weird that they don't have a character for him.
His name's Daryl.
His real name is Daryl.
His name's Daryl. The man. Okay.
Daryl. Oh, you finally sent it to me.
Yeah. So this is the fic.
Scared.
And I will let.
Oh, okay. It's not that long.
The stream see it. Yeah, I tried to not pick a long one, just so that we can get finished with it. So.
I still have all of the other stuff pulled up from last time.
I like how you lied and said, "But I'm at work."
Shut up.
Oh right, I don't have the fic. Night. I need to change this. Okay. Because you guys should not be seeing that. Also, somebody else is here. Hi, somebody else. How's it going? How's life? Don't
tell us your favorite color. Maybe tell us if you like flowers. What's your favorite flower?
Yes, tell us your favorite flower. Can I see my favorite flower?
What's your favorite flower?
It's a snapdragon. Because you can make it talk.
Of course.
You can make it talk.
Okay. Fun fact. So when we first met each other, I don't know how this came up. I think you just randomly sent me a video. You're like,
no,
hey,
okay.
You want to see how my snapdragon? Okay.
So it is because you said you wanted a plant. And I was like, we should have a snapdragon. And you're like, what's a snapdragon? And I'm like, I made a TikTok of this because I love this flower so much. So I sent you a video, the TikTok of my flower, and I'm like, I hope she doesn't know this is me.
Okay, okay, okay. So, mind you, this is the background. I almost said the lore. This is the
Technically
background
lore.
info before this interaction. So me and Alyssa met through
Oh,
a
dating website.
dating website, but basically it was set up for college roommates.
Mhm.
So we were roommates in college. And just yeah, for, like, the first 3 months that I knew her, I didn't even really know her. I literally only
No,
texted her through, like, Instagram or,
the
like, the
college roommate. Like,
side.
I think for, like, the, like, first month, we started talking
Yeah.
in there, and then we're like, "I think we need to move this because the site's gonna go down."
Yeah, we were like, "Okay, this is getting awkward." So we
And for the
moved it to
longest
Instagram. And yeah, I mentioned that, and then she sent me a TikTok of Snapdragons, and I was like, "Huh, I think this is her." And so I stalked her on TikTok. I was like, "Oh, so this is who she is. Okay."
oh, no.
Because
I didn't know
she already
that.
ha yeah, so she stalked me. I mean, I'm pretty sure you stalked me on Instagram.
I think a little bit, but, like,
Yeah.
you in
I don't
person
have a lot on
was a
my
lot
Instagram.
different than you on Instagram. 'Cause,
Mhm.
like, you look so different than your Instagrams.
I
I'm gonna be
do?
completely honest, you do.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, like, I got a totally different vibe. Like, I got, like, 100%, like, book nerd who just walked out of the library, like, kinda like the cute librarian type of vibe almost.
Oh my
And then I met you and
gosh.
you're like, "Oh, so you're" like, met you and I was like, "Oh, weeb. Okay, I can work with this." Um, and also,
Nah, I
so
am
I don't know
I'm
if I
not an innocent. I tried to okay. So in high school, I tried to dress like a sexy librarian. Like that was literally how I dressed every day.
why didn't
Um,
you do that for me?
because I got to college and I realized it was too much work. Plus Boise is way hotter than
Fair
where
enough.
I'm from. So I was like, yeah, no, I can't walk around in a jumper every day. That's not gonna work.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, definitely gave that up.
I will also say, I legitimately, when you messaged me and was like, "Hey, how do you send like roommate invites?" I legit 100% thought it wasn't me. I was like, "Crap, I knew it. I'm gonna have to be rooming with some rando person." Like, yeah, of
Wait,
course. Like,
can I
I le-
confess something?
what?
It wasn't actually you.
Yeah, thought so.
No, no, no. Listen, listen, listen. So I had this whole master plan. There is this other girl who I was talking to and you, and I liked you guys both. You guys were like equal to each other because you were like Doctor Who artist. I knew I would get along with you. And this girl was Harry Potter, but she had a boyfriend, so I didn't really like her that much. And
It's
so
like
I
she had
was
a
trying
boyfriend,
to
so I was like,
figure out, yeah, I was basically planning on like rooming with you two and then finding another girl because there had to be 4 people in a room. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, maybe they've been talking to some other people too, and then all 4 of us can just vibe together because as long as I have you two, I'll be fine. And then uh I asked her, I was like, "Hey, I have this other girl that I really want to room with too. Like, do you have another person you've been talking to? And then all 4 of us can room together." And she was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And so I tried to send her a roommate invite and she was like, I think we can only choose one other person." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Whatever, it's fine." And then like I literally friended you like 2 minutes afterwards. I was like, "Okay, I got one of you guys. I'm happy." I just wish we could have replaced uh our other roommate with her
Yeah.
because she was super nice. I
Yeah.
loved her.
Yeah.
Never talked to her after that, but it was great.
Yeah. I I think
Yeah,
I
we ended up.
blocked our other roommate. I think I
What?
legit blocked her on Instagram.
Oh, I did too.
Like before
She
even
was
the semester. Well, no, after like when I moved out, I think like I sent that message of like, "Are you gonna clean the bathroom?" And then I blocked her.
Did she ever reply to that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. What a pain in the butt. I have
Yeah.
never met a ruder person in
Oh
my
yeah.
no, actually I have. She is the second rudest person I have ever met in my entire life. That's besides the point. We're here to read fan fiction. If you want to know about me and Alyssa's college days, better to 100 followers.
College days. Honey, you do understand I'm still, like, we're both still in college. We just, like, you're taking a year and a half to 2
I have a
years
gap
off.
year. Yeah, I have 2 gap years.
Which is rude of her. But I say when you come
Hey,
back,
think about it.
we should try and get like an apartment or something together.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely hitting you up when I come back.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Hey,
yeah.
Alyssa, do you remember me? Oh, wait, you blew up and now you're famous?
Yeah, like that will
Just
happen.
let me room with you.
I would totally be like, I'm making no money, please. I'm depressed, sad, and lonely.
I roll up saying mood and you cringe. That's so a year and a half ago. Come on, Inky, get it together.
Like specifically, like you go, oh, that's a mood, and I'm like, ew, gross. You're like, what? I'm like, you said mood.
What?
That's so like a year and a half ago. Like
That's
a year ago.
so last
Really?
season.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck? I probably won't ever do that
Anyways.
because, like, let's be honest, I'd totally be like, mood.
You'd be like, oh, I remember when mood was popular.
Yeah. Russo's
Oh my
still,
gosh.
like, I think he still is like, not everything's a mood. I'm like, yeah, what else should I use, buddy? Try me.
Try me. Try me. Come at me, Broseph. Let's go. Me and you. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I didn't see, this, anyway, so do we want to continue with the fic?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so you can listen to this song while we read this. I can't because everyone will hear and not hear you.
Fair.
So Saturn by Sleeping at Last is what they recommend you listen to while reading this. It's not going to happen specifically for me, but if you guys want to listen to this and have that in the background, or Inky, you can go ahead and do that. Do we also have like equally spread out who's doing what for the characters? Because you're doing
Yeah,
Sapnap, Halo, Clay.
I like how you call him Halo.
Yeah. And then I'm
Yeah, who do
doing
I do? Oh, wow,
George.
I do 3 of them, and you do George. Who is
Who's
Sam? Oh, I
Sam?
don't even have Sam
You
on
don't
this
have
list.
Sam. I guess
Did I
I'm
give you
doing Sam?
Sam?
Well,
Yeah, I'll give
wait,
you
do you want. Yeah, which. You'd have to give me one.
giving you Sam.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
then I'll be narrator. So that's technically 3. So I'll
A
be 3-3. Um.
3.
Okay, so I'm George, Sam, narrator. Okay.
Good.
Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, let's settle in and read this fic. Also, again,
Wait,
by
are
the
we
way,
critiquing it or are we just doing
yes.
dramatic
Heck
reading?
yeah. We're critiquing this because it's like not critiquing, we're getting constructive criticism, I feel like there's a difference. Is there a difference?
Okay. Oh my gosh, can we do a stream where we just flat out roast Wattpad? Please, please,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
I could go off.
But
I
I
could
would
go off. Let me go
100%,
off.
I would rather do it on a fandom that we don't know and has just like an already cringy fan base, like One Direction, or like something that has like died a while ago that's like,
Teen Wolf.
yeah, stuff that's like died a while ago that we know is going to be cringy and we're going to have so much fun with it.
Oh
Um
gosh, yes.
okay.
Please.
So again, disclaimer. We're not trying to make fun of you. We're trying to help you. We are writers ourselves. We're both like Inky's an aspiring editor and edits stuff. I edit stuff. I write stuff. I'm currently writing a fan fiction. Um, we I think we both sort of know what we're doing on this. We're not trying to make fun of the writer in any form. We're just trying to give constructive criticism and be nice and try and help them in writing because we both understand that sometimes when you're writing, it's good to have somebody else look over it and be kind of like, this makes no sense. Because we've both done that with both of our writings. We've both been like, this makes no sense. We'll try and like if we say something that's like, well, I would have done this, it's more of those things of like, yeah, you could have done this, but yeah. So we'll explain it. It'll be basically like us almost live editing this, if that makes any sense. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're not trying to make fun of. We're trying to legit help. After this is over, I will 100% start uploading this and comment on this fic and tell them like a rundown and be like, hey, by the way, we read this on stream. So
Mhm.
this is not a stream that like this is not something that the writer will never know about. I will 100% send them a thing saying like, hey, by the way.
Mhm.
Um is
So
there
just
anything
kick
else?
back. Yeah, I was about to say. Um, yeah, while we do not claim to be professionals, we are amateurs. I'm literally studying to do this right now as my full-time career. We've been doing this both for like 7, 8 years, probably
Mhm.
longer. Um, yeah, if you think we're being too harsh, please tell us. If you have a fic you would like us to critique, please send it to us either in our Discord, which there's a link down below, or
Yeah,
in
or do
the chat box
exclamation
just
Discord.
whenever. Yeah.
There's also exclamation
Um,
fic that you can do in the chat to get the
the
specific
link.
one. Also for the
Yeah.
VOD, I will be linking it down below.
Yeah.
Um, just so that you or
Just
like linking it in some form.
mhm.
Just so that like in the future people can read this as well.
Yeah. So just kick back, relax, pull up a homework assignment, plug in your earphones to go on a run, because this is basically kind of like a podcast,
I guess
honestly.
yeah.
And just like listen to this while you do other things. You don't necessarily have to pay attention. Just do it while you work.
Yeah. Okay.
So
We ready?
let's
Done with the
do it.
disclaimers? Okay. Dream likes the stars. They fascinate him. Always have. For as long as he could remember, any chance he got, he would stare up at the night sky and just wonder. Was there anything out there? How did stars stay so bright? Okay, how hmm. Um, was there anyone else who was just as fascinated with the night sky as he was? Were they his soulmate? Did soulmates exist? Okay, this
Okay, okay.
rough start.
So, do you want to start or shall I start?
You start.
Okay, okay. So I have two things. First of all, I've heard this beginning 1,000 times. However, the thing that you hear about a lot in every single writing tip that I've read out there is make the beginning like jump out at you by taking something else and then adding a new twist to it. So I think they do that. They take a normal beginning that everybody has heard and they added a little bit of twist. Was it enough of a twist to entirely separate it from the others? I don't think so. I do like the thoughts that they had at the last part of the paragraph, like were they his soulmate? Did soulmates exist? But that part, like I know it's supposed to be very deep and meaningful
It felt like
of
a
like
jump.
was there anyone else who just was as fascinated with the night sky as he was? Were they his soulmate? Soulmates exist? I feel like that should have been taken like seriously, but man, I almost started laughing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, cuz it's so cliche of like was there anyone else just like me? Are they my soulmate? Do soulmates exist? Like I don't know why. It just it's something that I've heard like 1,000 times. Even though I don't read this type of stuff, like I've heard it so many times. It's like it bored me because I'm like at a point there's like it just kind of was like a bunch of questions. I was like, I guess.
Mm,
You know, like,
yeah,
I'd probably
but
ask for like a different opening of kind of like
mhm,
Dream has always been fascinated about stars. Um, and he would stay up
maybe add
late at
in
night
some
and just,
action
well,
into there.
yeah,
I don't
kind of
know.
make it kind of like Dream like the stars. They fascinated him, always have. It seems like very simple sentences almost.
Mhm,
I'd just make it a little bit complex of like, Dream was always fascinated about the stars. That sounds like a very interesting opening, doesn't it? Of like it still
mhm,
says the same thing, but you kind of
Yeah.
condense it all into like one sentence, and it makes it just that bit more interesting.
Mhm.
Because the thing is that simple language, I think, is the problem that we're having here with the first sentence.
Mhm.
Of it's just like incredibly simplified. Of like dream like the stars, like make it
Mhm.
a little bit more up. Like maybe he adored the stars. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think another thing that they could do to spice up this intros a little bit is add detail. For
Hmm.
like, because it says, for as long as he could remember, any chance he got, by the way, grammar mistake, it's fine, I feel that. He would stare up at the night sky and just wonder. I feel like maybe add some description of the night sky because, okay, what um, a lot of beginning writers don't do a lot. They don't realize that descriptions and thoughts are like describe the state of mind of a character almost as much as just saying it outright.
Hmm.
Because how the character sees the world helps us understand how the character like sees themselves and how
Hmm.
the character acts and such because our own inner thoughts um basically describe everything that we do, you know? So
Hmm.
like for instance, I would stare at a flower and I would just think pink flower. Meanwhile, you could stare at a flower and think the soft rose perky
Mm.
daffodil. I don't know, like, you know, you put so much work into it. That just
Yeah.
shows our the differences between me and you, like how much you care about flowers, or maybe you just pay attention to detail, or maybe I'm just really tired and I don't even notice the flower, you know?
Hmm.
I feel like maybe they could just put a little bit of detail in there,
Yeah.
like name some shove in some star facts, like maybe tell us about the point when like he was first fascinated by the stars of like, oh, he was there when this comet arched overhead and his dad like rented out he and his dad ran over to the next door neighbor's house and got to use their telescope to view the comet, and they had to change the telescope every 5 minutes, and that was the first time Dream got to stay up past his bedtime, and ever
Yeah.
since then he saved up all of his money to buy a telescope, you know, just like details like that, just like immediately bring us into the story, add some characterization, or even just describe the sky itself and just be
Hmm.
like, uh, the way that when you get to pitch darkness, you can see the Milky Way, or how like the stars change every season, you
Hmm.
know, just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would recommend.
For like lore dumps, I
Um,
recommend that exact same thing of adding a bit more character to it. Like
mhm,
in the beginning of my fic that's coming out Tuesday, um there's some bits that I do lore dumps technically, but it's done in like kind of past tense, like thinking back dream type of not like thought stuff. So instead
mhm,
of like the character, like you hearing it from the beginning and like continue on with the story, you're catching it
mhm,
like right in the middle of the action. So he's kind of like thinking back of like, why did I end up here type of a deal.
mhm,
Um, and I'd say I added character into like the situation because I have it where like he's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this." But in the flashback, he's like all like cocky of like, "Oh yeah, I can do this." And like now he's in this point of like,
mhm.
"Why was I so cocky?"
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, I just thought of the perfect way to spice this up by adding in some star facts. Did you know that the North Star, in fact, is two different stars? Actually, I think it's three, but I'm pretty sure that it's
No,
two.
it's two
North Star is
because
actually two separate stars, but they're so close together that they just are the same thing. And you can only see that they're two separate ones by looking through a massive telescope.
yeah.
What you could say is that if you want to keep the soulmate thing down in the last line of the paragraph, you could say, did soulmates exist forever intertwined like the two stars that make up what the North?
Yeah,
Something like that. I don't know.
have
Make it
it more
cheesy.
of a yeah, make it have be kind of a more star, like if he's fascinated with stars, put some constellation references in there. Put some
Mm-hmm.
like star references in there. Like you could do like oh, like the one of like, do soulmates exist, or am are we all gonna be stuck in this loop? Like, because there's just one that's like this goddess, like went down to earth, fell in love with a mortal, had children. Um, Parents realized she was gone, got taken up back into the sky, and then the husband and children like try and get to her like every year and only can do it at like one certain day type of a deal. I don't know. I
Never
heard it
heard of
on Overly
that.
Sarcastic Productions.
I've heard
Um,
of Ursa Major and Ursa Minor about
yeah,
like Greek mythology,
yeah,
but
that's different. But kind of like
that's
add,
different.
because it's just all of a sudden like, were they his soulmates? Since like, okay, who like, if he was so fascinated with the stars, he wouldn't care about like somebody else. Let's be honest here. Like, like he'd like somehow equate it to stars. That makes sense.
Two
I
stars.
feel. I feel.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I
Okay.
feel you. We're good. All
Anyways,
right.
want to
Sorry.
continue?
And maybe this intro is just really short because of how the story is written.
Hmm.
And if so, then I might be taking half of this back, but I gotta read on to see.
True, true, true.
Mhm.
Anyways, let's continue. Right? Question mark?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Go.
He has to admit, he was pretty silly as a kid, but it was okay. After a few years, he had met him. Who was him? I'm asking that. Why, his best friend, of course. Who is? They met at a Chuck E. Cheese. Who is 8-year-old Dream was
Keep
brought
going, keep going, we're gonna move.
was brought there for his little sister's birthday and taken it upon himself to explore every inch of the play park.
Okay, I love that detail at the end. That's so cute. I can
Yeah.
totally imagine Child Dream doing that.
Oh yeah. I feel like he'd be like in the play place and just being like, "I'm the king of the world." um so can I continue or do you want to make a comment on this?
I feel like I'm getting the vibe of how this story is being written or
Mhm.
like what the rhythm is like, the medium that you're basically using. And it's interesting. It's interesting. I definitely understand a little bit more now, but it's a little cliche, but we can
Yeah.
continue.
Like I'd suggest, like if you're gonna do a who was him, why his best friend, of course, you say their name. You have to answer the question. You didn't fully answer the question. You're not a politician here. You can say their name. Like in my
Stop
fic, like
filibustering.
yeah, like well, no, so it's a legit thing in like politics where they sort of answer a question, but they divert into like one of their policy, like they somehow relate it to like one of their policies. So they don't
Diversionary
fully answer the
tactics.
question, but you said something cool about yourself. So like cool. Um
Mission accomplished. Good job. Let's
yeah.
make you president.
Um yeah. So
Sorry.
here like I'll do this with my fic. I had it like a secret for the first couple of paragraphs who was who. Um And
Mhm.
I never had like a question of like who was him. It was just like all of a sudden it was like, oh yes, Dream, like oh yeah, George. So like it's one of those things of like you don't know, like it's okay to have that mystery for a bit, but if you're gonna ask a question, answer it, buddy. Answer it. You
I
didn't
think they
fully answer
literally
it.
answer it at the beginning of the next
Yeah, they
paragraph, which
do,
is
but they should do it sooner.
fine.
Yeah,
But
but they
yeah, do it
should do
sooner,
it sooner,
please.
or like if you're gonna do like the who was him, why his best friend, of course, put it at the
Mhm.
end or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, there he met Sapnap. He was 6 at the time, a small pudgy boy with tears streaming down his face because he couldn't find his way out.
Aw.
After calming the younger down, just say the child or whatever. Dream had slowly led Sapnap out of the play structure, with Sapnap clutching his hands for dear life the whole time. That's adorable. That's
I'm here
actually
for
kind of
this.
adorable. This is
This
actually
wholesomeness.
like this
Maybe it's
is
because I'm a sapnap simp, but that's so cute.
yeah. So when I had two that I could have picked from. One was the Dream XD X George, or this one.
Mhm.
And Inky picked this one.
Yes, yes. That's
So
all she
yeah.
told me. She said Dream XD and George, or Sapnap and Dream. And I'm just like, Sapnap and Dream? Of
Yeah.
course.
So
The only ship that will probably ever happen IRL.
because they do
Most
live
possible
together.
statistic wise. They live together.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. The rest was history. They grew up, hung out, did everything together. Their love for space was a big thing in their friendship. They spent many school nights in middle school learning and studying constellations and the function of different things in space.
Oh.
That was a
I
long
thought they meant
sentence.
space as in like physical space. Like with me and my best friend, we're best friends purely because we are such in different friend groups that like the social space between us was so good, and that's why we were so tight because we could tell the other about everything and nothing bad would happen. We weren't even in the same like friend groups, you know? I thought that's what they meant, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, they hung out, but they still like didn't hang out like every single day." But no, no, no. That was different. Okay. Maybe that was just me getting confused, or maybe you need to
No?
specify that it's the stars a little bit
Yeah.
closer. Um but
I also
it might
think
just
they
be
spent
Inky
many
being
nights in middle
stupid.
schools better rather than they spent many school nights in middle school.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, add a detail where it's okay. So tip of the fic. Tip of the
Fig the
fic.
tick.
I'm already starting to see this now. I'm just going to name it. Um, add a little bit more detail. Whenever you whenever you to extend the story a little more to bring the readers in, add just a sentence or two more of detail. Talk about how Sapnap and Dream would stay out way too late
Mm-hmm.
during middle school and how they would have to be dragged away from each other talking about space, how they would buy each other Starbucks, or they would meet up with each other to watch comets or see constellations, or maybe the other
Or they'd
saved up and bought a telescope that they shared or something,
or they'd
just a little
lay
bit more
out to
detail.
like this, like on school nights they'd stay up, like lay out and watch the stars and fall asleep on
Hmm.
the roof, and like they'd wake up and have to get ready for school or something like that, where it's just kind of
Hmm.
like a little bit more like look into their lives, I guess. Or like how
Hmm.
they'd eat crappy pizza every Friday night while they watch stars or whatever.
Hmm.
Just add a little bit more personality to these characters because they kind of seem like one dimensional at this moment, where it's like, what's their
I
defining
know.
personality?
Yeah.
Stars.
Okay, listen, I know it's very hard to do that with fan fiction because readers are already going into this already knowing the personality of each and every one of the characters, already having a perception of the characters in their mind. However, it still doesn't hurt to add the personality back in,
Mm-hmm.
to add the little moments. Because like I said at the beginning, um the way characters perceive the world and how they interact with it is just as important as describing the character's traits out loud. Um, which some characters don't even need because you just uh, like Hermione never claims to be smart or a book nerd. You see it through her actions and the way others describe her,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like she never if you actually flip and read through the entire 7 books, yeah, you never see her call herself the smart one.
Yeah.
Um, it's very interesting. That's a whole essay in and of itself. But anyways, yeah, just little details.
Just
Tip of the fic,
imagine, like, you have
details.
to understand that, like, personally, when I go into, like, if I ever read a fic, or like write a fic, I assume that whoever's reading this or whoever wrote this, um, these are new characters. They are not like I like I've said this before, but I think I've only said it in Inky Street. But I see fan fiction like not as like the characters themselves. I kind of see it as like a creative outlet to do that type of stuff with, like
Hmm.
to be like to write things, cuz it's much easier to write a story where the characters' personalities and looks and mannerisms and everything are already done for you. You
Mhm.
know? Um,
Yeah.
so,
And
like, you
maybe
have to
in a lot of
understand.
different fics, like, personalities are slightly different, so you have to, like, especially in this fandom, there's so many, like, different sides to each character.
Mhm.
That is, like, some people only capture one side of the character while others capture another, and it's so hard to find a fic that captures just all of it. And I don't think any fic ever will,
Yeah.
honestly. Um, but yeah, especially with fan fiction, you're always trying to capture every no, like you'll never find a fic that captures all the sides of a character. Sorry, I yawned there. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, just make your characters a little bit more personality-wise.
Mhm.
The rest is wait. Yeah, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
The rest is history. They grew up, hung out, did everything together. Their love for space was a big thing in their friendship. They spent oh wait, yeah, we already did that. To be honest,
Sorry.
yeah, we both screwed up there. Um, to be honest, Dream would definitely not be the man he is today without Sapnap. The younger had been
Continue.
such a big part of his life, and he really could not imagine his life without his loud bargaining, his loud butt barging into his room whenever he wanted. He truly showed Dream how rare and beautiful it was to even exist, and Dream was thankful for that.
Perfect. Continue.
Things,
I
yeah,
have nothing.
yeah, that was I liked that. They
That was beautiful.
slight
Poetry.
slightly shifted once they started college. However, despite their love of space, neither decided to pursue it as a career, wanting to keep
Gosh
their
dang it.
interest as a fun hobby reserved for the two of them. They are still
Ooh.
as close as ever. They studied together as much as possible and even shared a dorm together. What caused the
Okay,
shift
okay.
then? George.
Oh. Oh
Do you
no.
have anything to say yet?
No, I think the rhythm that they've made with this fic really fits how they're
Mhm.
writing the rest of the story. I think
I am
they're
liking this, like the newer stuff. The newer stuff, I will say, are
yeah.
like the last couple of paragraphs wonderful. Love them.
Mhm. I do I'm still wishing for a sentence more or two of detail, but
Hmm.
besides that, just like yeah, this all is great.
They
You can
kind of
continue.
they kind of write a little bit like less than I do because I tend to not do a lot of details as well. But I think
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
You've read my writing.
I have.
I
I
don't.
write so much more than both of you combined. Goodness grievous.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
think
much more
there's
detailed.
like when I had to edit your bits, it was kind of like I'd have to like jump and do something else for a bit and then come back and continue reading, then jump away and then come back reading because my brain does not like
Mhm.
to pay attention to things. Um,
Oh, no, no, you're good.
and my brain also hates a lot of words. I don't think my brain likes clutter.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not getting into this right now. Um, since the two best friends had different majors, they shared no classes, only spending lunches with each other during the day. This, in turn, leads them to making friends separately.
That paragraph is weird. They need to go back and look over it.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound right.
yeah.
Continue though. Also, may
Um,
I just say, I love the spacing that they're doing with this fic right now. Like, what caused the shift then? Question mark. Own paragraph. George. Own paragraph. Definitely emphasizes the point.
mhm,
Definitely makes a tone shift in this fic. I love it. Continue.
yeah. They had made friends with people before. Wait, they had made friends with people before Dream found George. Okay, that's a little confusing. Sapnap
Just a bit.
well, having befriended a
Beheaded.
boy
Oh
behave.
gosh.
I almost said behaving. I'm like, that's not right.
I was thinking beheaded.
Oh God, no.
Oh my
Having
goodness.
befriended a boy named Sam and Dream meeting a boy named Daryl. I just I love that it's like Dream,
That's weird.
Sapnap, and then it's like Daryl and George and Sam.
This,
like
mm.
okay, I guess it makes sense, but also it's kind of funny. I just like that it's like so Bad Boy Halo's real name is Daryl.
Inhalers. Bad boy inhaler.
That's why I call him Halo or But yeah, so his
Everyone just calls
legit
him
name
Bad.
is
It's so weird that you call him Halo. What the fudge?
so his legit name is Daryl.
Pull yourself together, woman.
It's just
Anyways, we need to pull ourselves together.
Daryl's just like
Daryl.
he's the guy down the street who cooks at a barbecue from 1950s with
Oh my
charcoal.
gosh.
And it's just like he's all grungy and like he hasn't shaved in a bit and like has a wife beater t-shirt that's gray and like really sweaty and has stains on it. That's Daryl.
Please don't put that picture of Bad the angel in my head. It's
But I'm
basically me.
right.
If
Okay.
I were to be anyone in the Dream SMP, I'd be Bad. Or Foolish, actually.
I don't know who
Me
I'd
and
be
Foolish
because I
vibe.
don't know the Dream SMP much. I'd say I'd want to be Rambo. Like if I could, I would love to be Rambo.
You give me a Puffy vibe.
I
Or
don't know
like,
who
I'm
that
so
is.
done with this bull crap. Y'all are children. Like, yeah, that's you. You're Puffy. I'm Foolish.
I feel like
You're
I'm
just
Rambo because I would
whatever.
totally like trust people too easily. I have memory problems in general. Um, like yeah, his whole character's just like really interesting to me. Anyways, let's continue. We've
Continue.
sidetracked.
Or else we're never gonna finish this.
You're right. Um, they had made wait, yeah. George was different. You see, Sapnap had decided at the very young age of 12 that he and Dream were soulmates, and that's how things were. I mean,
Whoa,
how
whoa,
could you
whoa.
not come to that conclusion? After a
Eh?
major event during his sophomore year of high school, he never mentioned the fact ever again. George made him question it. No,
Whoa.
never
Wait,
questioned the fact
wait.
ever again.
What? What? Okay. First of all, I feel like they should have introduced the Sapnap and Dream soulmate thing a little bit sooner. Because they've already skipped to college days and now they're
Yeah.
skipping all the way back to 12 years old. No, keep this chronologically. I know
Mhm.
you're trying to keep with the theme and the rhythm of your fic, but I don't feel like that works in this instant. Um, bring
Like,
back the 12 years age after after you described he and Dream as like best friends forever. I mean, how could you not come to that conclusion? After a major event during his sophomore year of high school, he never questioned the fact again. George made him question it. Okay, that's confusing.
I'd say like a
Um,
third of like we're a third away, I'd say, through this fic. And one thing I would have recommended is by this time to have had some type of legit scene. Like in some form have like a legit scene. Like maybe having this explained in a scene where Sapnap is like hanging out with Dream one night while they're watching the stars and he kind of like has the thoughts of like we're soulmates. We've got to be. And then doing it like later on, he realized like he never questioned it again. And then be like, that was until college or something like that. Kind of keeps it chronological.
yeah, sorry. I'm just kind of like reading ahead a little bit, and definitely you need to because okay. Maybe I should save this until we catch up with the rest of the fic.
Hmm.
I'll save it for then.
Okay.
Continue.
It had been a late night. It was just after exams, so they took it as an excuse to celebrate. All of them decided to hang out in Sapnap and Dream's tiny living room in their room. It was Sapnap,
Repetitive.
Dream, Sam, Daryl, and George, who Sapnap had never met before then.
Okay, this is where I'm adding my critique. So first of all, repetitive. Sapnap and Dream's tiny living room in their dorm. People will more likely refer, if you're in college, you're going to refer to your room as your dorm
Hmm.
slash your apartment, not your room.
Hmm.
Because room is just a specific little space within the dorm or apartment.
And I'm assuming
Technically, it's
that their
room,
like living
apartment,
room is like
dorm.
their dorm was a lot different than ours, where we didn't have a living room. We
We
had a
didn't even have our own
hallway.
rooms.
Yeah, we had a hallway, a bedroom, um,
That was it.
sink, and closets was the other one.
There were no doors existing between me and Alyssa, the sinks and the closets. They were
Nope.
all one room.
Yep.
It was
Um,
horrible.
which
But we
I'd
lived
say
with
was
it
great. Yeah.
for 9 months. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, for 9 months.
Yeah. You could have a
Holy
child
crap.
during that time.
But I didn't.
Woo!
Anyways, not like that was hard. Um,
You had one boyfriend, and that ended weirdly. Anyways,
anyways,
um,
so basically, I didn't go over the major event that he never questioned the fact again. But then he did question it. Okay, because right now this story is being told in this weird tense. It's not
it's apparent they didn't read
present,
over this when they posted it.
but it's not future. And it's not, okay, it's not present and it's not past. It's this weird bit where they keep switching tenses. If you're going to make it present, don't say, after a major event during his sophomore year of high school, he never questioned the fact again. Instead, say after a major event, something happened in his sophomore year, uh, that changed Sapnap's perspective. But don't say forever, because forever entitles that it is past tense. Um,
Or
but
evers in
this,
general. I feel
yes,
like don't
if
put
you're going to keep
evers.
it, yeah, if you're going to keep it present, don't like reword that. If you're going to keep it past tense, then yeah, keep that there. But then you have to change the whole beginning because I've all the way up until this point, I thought it was past tense, but it was not. Like, um, oh gosh, there's a specific POV that this is called. Uh, it's either third person. Yeah,
It
it's third
isn't.
person omniscient. I think it's
I
the
don't.
POV of
The
this
thing
fic.
is that we've had perspectives of Dream and Sapnap.
Yes, so it is third person.
Yeah.
Third person omniscient, I believe. Third person multiple? Yeah, third person multiple omniscient is how I would tag this fic. Um, because we're not exactly it's not eyes. We're not doing eyes in this fic. Um, it's definitely referring to the person as their name. But we're skipping between Dream and Sapnap, and Sapnap seems to know a lot outside of his current predicament. Um, yeah. So please choose between present or past because it will just make everything run so much smoother. Also, I loved how what you were doing with spacing. I feel like you need to emphasize that last little sentence. George made him question it. I feel like you need to make that your own paragraph in order for it to be in order for it to pop out because I feel like it has that impact on the fic where it's changing the tone again that you need to give it the attention it requires because that needs to stick out.
I'd say that
Um,
whole last sentence, how I'd rephrase it, is like
mhm,
after a major event during his sophomore year of high school, he never questioned that again. Well, that he never questioned that again. That was in that was before he met George, or like George was the one who made him question that, or like until type of a deal. Because it just like
mhm.
it's like, oh, he never questioned that fact ever again. George made him question that. I was like, it sounds a little funky to me personally. So if I was like making it like George like made him question, like I don't know. I feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but my brain not working.
Mm.
Um. Anyways, we could continue.
Yes, continue.
Okay.
Let's
It
do
is
this.
okay. So George.
George made him question it.
Yeah. No, we already skipped that one.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
George had met everyone else before then, so the only introduction being made were between him and Sapnap. They, when they greeted each other, Sapnap thought they would make great friends. Oh, how he was so wrong. That night, the poisonous
Oh,
flower had taken root in his lungs, although he didn't know it yet.
Oh, I love that description. Oh, that's perfect. If you were to put a quote for this fic, that would be it. Quote of the fic. That is super good. Short, swimple, swimple,
Swimple.
short, swimple.
Swimple. Swimple. You good there, buddy?
There's a flower. Um, it's short, simple, and it's poetic, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
It took root when he noticed how Dream laughed when talking to George. When oh, that's capitalized unnecessarily. When he noticed the
Mm.
lingering touches, when he realized they were stuck in their own little world together, their own
Mm.
little world that didn't include Sapnap.
Oh, sad now.
I feel like that could
I
have
like
been done a
you.
little bit better, cause I feel like parallelism would have been great for this.
They are trying for parallelism,
Yeah,
which
but
is
they kind of
great.
fail at that a bit.
Yeah, they missed the target,
I feel
which is
like it
fine.
should have
If
been
they just
like
go
when
back.
he noticed the laughter between the two, when he noticed the lingering touches, when he realized um they were stuck in their own little world together, or like try and
Okay,
make it a little bit more parallel in some
yeah,
form, because I
this
feel
with a
like
grain of salt. Um, but uh, tip of the fic, kind of on a little bit more detail about George.
mhm.
However he reacts when he comes into the room. Maybe they're all setting up to have a nice round of drinking games, and then George comes in and Dream lights up at the fact that George is just about to come in, and that's when Sapnap starts spiraling throughout the night.
I
Um,
wish there was more
but
scenes, because we're pretty far through the fic. We've yet to see like a legit scene or like any dialogue. So like one
yeah,
thing I'd do is I'd like go through this and be like, can I add this more as a scene? Um,
mm-hmm,
kind of like having the whole introduction, have that as a scene. Um,
mm-hmm.
introductions in general have as scenes, except for like Sam and Daryl. I can't get over that name.
Sam,
Um,
shut up, stop, stop.
but like have
Don't hurt my son.
Daryl. Um,
Stop it.
but have more scenes because we're kind of seeing it from like this outside perspective, so it doesn't
Mm-hmm,
have that much power to the words. Um, but if it was like, um, oh, like just adding a bit more scenes kind of adds that, like, oh, this is happening, or
mm-hmm,
like it adds just
mm-hmm.
a little bit personality and it makes it more interesting. Um,
Yeah, you can still keep the pace and the rhythm of the fic by just adding like two more scenes that are only just like two paragraphs long.
mhm,
As long as they're there, it helps embed the reader because
mhm,
that's the difference between scene and summary. You're doing a lot of summary right now. Summary helps us get a lot of information really quickly, but scene helps us, the reader, uh, pay attention to the fic and actually get into it and get into the story. That's why the thing is, without one, you can't have one without the other. Trust me, Hemingway tried. And while he succeeded, there were many who failed before him. Um, you have to have both, and you got to find the balance. And I think this is a lot of summary rather than scene. Kind of like what we saw with the multiplayers. It had a lot of summary. It also had quite a bit of scenes. It was skipping over a lot of things, but it had a very good balance, I would say, between scene and summary. Highly suggest that you guys check that out. It's called The Multiplayers over on AO3. It's a band AU with all the minors, no romantic relationships. It's great. Love it. Anyways, let's get back into it. Or not. All right, awesome. Alyssa's in the middle of something, so I'm just going to entertain all y'all with I don't even know what I'm gonna entertain all y'all with. Okay, so basically, um, highly. Okay, so I've been talking about tip of the thick, and
Let's tip of the fic.
I think we're going to do that for every single fic.
Oh,
It's
oh, you
just
mean
have a
that?
tip of the fic.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I,
You're good, you're good, you're
yeah,
good.
I meant to probably,
Apologize.
I should probably say, like, give me a sec when that stuff happens. I tried to do that, but, like, you're talking. Yeah. Anyways,
No,
um,
you're fine.
I feel like we should do,
Get
like,
you.
a takeaway, maybe, at the end of these when we do them.
Yes, tip of
Or,
the
like,
fic. I just came up with it right now. Now we're actually gonna do that. Let's do
okay.
it.
We good to continue?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that night, Sapnap cried himself to sleep, only to wake up to throw up
No.
a mix of alcohol he had drunk to numb himself, a bit of blood, and yellow chrysanthemum petals.
Hold up. First of all, please read back through that.
Did I
Really
say it wrong?
repetitive, the word up.
Oh,
Think of a different word. But also yellow. I know that there's such thing as flower language, but I was really hoping green to continue.
yeah. Let me see if there's a specific, like, yellow.
So I think this is our first scene. No. Our first scene, Dream dragged Sapnap through the thing as a child. However, that was super short and only like one sentence long. I technically that is a scene, but not a typical scene that we see in a lot of books.
Yellow chrysanthemum blossoms, on the other hand, signifies neglected love or sorrow.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I forgive you.
Yeah, okay, that fits.
Well,
That fits.
chrysanthemums it
That's cool.
is.
But yeah, I like we all wish it was a bit green, but like we understand flower language. Um, anyways, we good to continue?
Yes.
Sapnap went pale at the sight. There was no way it couldn't be. A case hadn't been documented in 5 years. Okay. Why did he have to be the one? Why him? Oh,
Interesting. Okay. So now we're going from a bunch of very fast summary to in the moment
yeah.
thought processes. Kind of like what we saw with Dream at the beginning of this fic. Interesting that it's happening now with
A
Sapnap. I
case
feel like that's
hasn't been
important.
documented in 5 years.
Why five? Why does everybody like the year five? I don't
Like,
understand.
that's not a detail that's gonna
Anyways,
matter in the fic. So why is he like, I don't, I don't know why. Like, and also why would he know that it was documented 5 years ago? Like, if, like, I
oh,
understand if it was like, yeah, the last documented, like, Ebola case was 5 years ago. Like, yeah, totally makes sense. But last documented case of this random weird disease that isn't contagious in any form with
hmm,
this was last documented 5 years ago. Like, it's that one that
hmm,
makes no sense. That should be common, like that should be more common because, like, let's be honest, there's at least
hmm,
one person in the world with unrequited love. Um, so like, yeah. So I'd advise just getting rid of that or doing it like, no, it can't be that. This can't be real. Like, make it more like he's denying the fact that its existence. I feel.
hmm.
Because, like, I feel like that shows more of like a conflict of like, no, who'd it even be for? Well, it could be this person, but I'm not exactly sure. Well, but like this, and no, well, it could be this,
Um,
you know?
well, he's already stated it.
Oh,
He
yeah,
knows
but
that
I
he
mean,
and
like,
Dream are soulmates.
well, like, have it more of like, well, it could be Dream, but like, maybe it's like something else. But like, yeah, of course it's Dream. It's gotta be Dream. But like, doesn't he like me back? Why is it all of a sudden now? Wait, could it be
Maybe this
this?
is
Kind of.
me being a noob when it comes to the Hanahaki disease. But I thought I could only be with soulmates. I don't even understand the
I
disease, actually.
From what I understand, it's from unrequited love. It's not
Hmm.
soulmates. It's unrequited love. Um,
Oh,
I think,
that's so sad.
yeah.
I feel
So
bad.
I think it's just in general unrequited love. I might be wrong,
Hmm.
but I'm pretty sure it's just like in general.
Hmm.
Um, so like,
Here.
yeah, it's not like specifically for soulmates. It's just unrequited love in general. Um, so that's why it could easily be the thing of
Interesting.
like, well, yeah, it's got to be Dream, but like, what else? Yeah, it's Dream, but like, why is it now? Why now? Why not like years ago? Why not when we first met? Why not when I thought we were soulmates? Like, why now?
Mhm.
And kind of have more of his thought process to it rather than like, this case hasn't been documented in 5 years, you know?
Oh, so specific, and the fact that he knows about it too.
Yeah, like he's kept
Did
like
he
a
say
log of
hasn't
like,
heard of a case in a couple years?
yeah,
It's
or
like a
like the
close friend
last
would
case
probably
he
find
heard
out
of
about it.
was 5 years ago. Um, in his high school, there was this girl who like tried to hide it but failed miserably, or like something like that, where it's just a little bit more of like, because like it's got to be more common than this. It's got to
Mhm.
be, because like it's not contagious. It's not that I know
Everybody
of.
has unrequited love.
Yeah,
They either, hey, maybe this is just me being a noob about this disease, but like, can't you just stop liking the person? Or it's like once you have it, you have it.
I
That's it.
think.
You're done for.
Let me make sure. It's a fictional disease in which the victim coughs up blood petals. Wait, coughs up flower petals when they suffer from one-sided love. It ends when the beloved returns their feelings. Romantic love only, strong friendship is not enough, or when the victim dies. It can be cured through surgical removal, but when the affection is removed, the victim's romantic feelings for the other also disappears.
Oh, shoot. That's intense. Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's
Once
100%,
you have it, you have it.
yeah,
Ouch.
unless it's basically like free. So like having it like it wasn't documented in 5 years is kind of weird because like it's not
Very specific.
it yeah, and you're saying it's a very uncommon disease, meaning it's either passed that down like through generations
Hmm.
as like in your DNA this happens, which that'd be
Hmm.
really weird, or
Me.
or like it's something that nobody documents when it happens, or like
Okay.
it's just one of those things of like they don't document it when somebody dies from random flowers in their lungs. They're like, oh well, that's interesting.
I bet the
Popcorn
corpse
lung,
looks
yes.
really cool. The skeleton, when it's like all
Oh,
decomposed later.
I bet there's
That's really fun.
fan art of that. That'd be
Pretty sure
pretty.
there is. I think I've actually just seen one by like We Stuff
Hmm,
on Instagram.
you should
I think
send
it's
that to
like
me.
green.
um
Anyways, so basically the easy way to fix this is that Sapnap hasn't heard like anything about this disease, or like the last time Sapnap heard about this disease was back in high school.
yeah,
Because right now he's in his college year, so you can immediately assume, it's been a couple years. No.
yeah,
Yeah, but
and be like
does
the
that.
person he heard didn't end up so well, or
Mhm.
something along those
Love how we
lines.
get a thought process from Sapnap. I like that.
Yeah,
I like how we're finally getting thoughts.
I love the more scene stuff. Just kind of more whittle it down, I guess, a bit. Anyways, we get to continue? Question mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, it was while he was wait, yeah, it was while he was cleaning up when it really hit him. He was going to die. He was going to die at the age of 19 because he was in love with his childhood best friend who didn't feel the same way in the slightest bit. The next few weeks were filled with the 19-year-old crying and suffering.
Why do you have to?
That's
It's not important to mention. It doesn't matter that he's 19, Broseph. Crying and suffering. Why are you
crying and
laughing at
suffering.
this? This is sad.
Filled with the 19-year-old. Oh, I thought it was like not like him, the 19-year-old. I just thought it was like in general, 19-year-olds crying and suffering. Like that's what we do.
Is it wrong?
I read that wrong.
It's not wrong. We all
That's
suffer and cry. It's a
it's like
fat mood, if anything.
yeah, that's why I'm laughing. It's like, yeah, mood. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Uh
Squeeze the lemon. Continue. I need to finish this before I
Okay.
lose it, man. I'm so tired.
I think you can tell I'm a bit tired as well. The flower
So
with him
sorry.
growing more and more, squeezing the life out of his lungs bit by bit. During those weeks,
God.
Sapnap realized that he couldn't just sit and mope. He needed to face this head on. For Dream!
Yes, I love this
For
spacing.
Dream! The months leading up to his death were spent helping Dream. Oh gosh.
Okay, yep. This is
Don't.
either past tense or this is third person, limited, omniscient. One
I.
of the two. Can't remember which.
Weird, like, not even halfway through, and you said that the character's gonna die. That's.
Wow. I feel like
I
it
would
kind of
at least
numbs
be
it, if
like,
anything.
yeah, I guess.
You're like,
But,
oh,
like,
Sapnap's gonna die.
it's like, oh,
Okay.
leading up to his death, we're spent helping Dream. And it's like, oh, he's gonna die. Oh, dang it. Like, it kind of makes it where you're just like, oh, so I know what's gonna happen now. He's just gonna die. Um, Again, just saying,
Yep.
we have not read ahead. We have no idea if he dies or not, and that could just be like fake foreshadowing or whatever.
Mm.
Um, like knowing this, good chance he dies. Um, anyways, good to
Didn't you
continue?
read the tags? Am
No,
I the only one that reads the tags around here? Gosh.
sometimes.
Okay. Continue.
He helped him with schoolwork, dumb professors, petty arguments. Heck, he even helped him pick out his mother's Christmas present. He also took part in Dream's elaborate way to ask George out. He had surprised him on his birthday. As cliche as it was cute. Sapnap had to admit, even if it was had a subconscious resentment towards the male.
What are you talking about?
I think George.
Okay, this paragraph is unclear. Please go back and
Yeah.
fix it. So I
So
like the
he,
scene. No,
Dream
this is
had
still summary.
surprised
This ain't
George
scene.
on his birthday. As cliche as it was cute. I think is what they're meaning to talk about. I think.
Yeah.
Dream had gone all out with balloons and flowers and a handmade sign. It was quite adorable.
That's not all out, but okay.
You're like, I've had better.
I have.
Yeah, you probably have.
Continue. Especially if
Um,
they're in college.
when Sapnap, well, no, nah, when Dream had taken George outside for a walk, that's when the roots wrapped around his lungs, saying they wanted to squeeze the air out of him. Sapnap doubled over, coughing and hacking, yellow chrysanthemum petals spewing out of his mouth. The rest of
Okay, so
the
if
boys.
this is this taking place right after Ray surprised George on his birthday?
I
Because
think
if it
it's
is, I feel like you
during.
need to make that a little bit clearer.
I think it's during. So I think what's happening is it was like so they decided to well they came up with the plan to ask George out. Here's kind of like what the setup for it. And then during it, like I think I think I'm a little
Think?
confused as well.
Question mark?
Yeah. Writer, please. Um Anyways, good to continue.
Yes,
The
continue.
rest of the boys froze, being heard from all of them. Gasp being heard from all of them. My brain skipped over that bit. Sam was the
Good.
first to jump into action, running to grab
Yes.
water while Daryl tried to soothe the now sobbing 19-year-old. He took them
And
every.
you,
What?
this fact has been brought up at least 4 times now. Please, we don't need to know that he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Take
Um,
it out. It's not important.
or
We
like
already
saying
know.
the now sobbing poor man or something. He told them everything
He
that
could say
night.
while Daryl was trying to soothe their now
Then
sobbing friend.
yeah, that'd work as well. He told them everything that night, practically begging them not to tell Dream or George. That's Sapdap, so that's you.
Oh, I don't know if I can voice act this. Hold on. I need to get into the sapnap brain mindset. Okay.
Your
Just down my
beloved's
hair a
being
little
taken
bit.
away.
um, just I just want him to be happy.
He has sobbed into Sam's chest. Okay,
And now
what
we're in a different
changed?
tense again.
Yeah. Like, The night was
Let's go
also
back over
when
that.
his health noticeably took a turn for the worst.
Oh
Sapnap
gosh.
expected it, of course. It had come a lot sooner than he thought, so much sooner. Oh, so much sooner. It took Dream a while to even notice. He was so hung up on George,
Oh.
he was almost never home. Spent lunches with George and blew off everyone else for the boy, Sapnap included. It
Oh.
wasn't until the two went for their annual camping trip. Who two? Who two? They did it every year. They went to their special spot where they would just stare at the night sky and talk about everything,
Oh.
anything and everything. Two never got bored and talk of talking to one another. It was
Mm.
around midnight on their last night there. They sat on their usual rock, sharing a bottle of Hennessy.
Yeah, I think it's Hennessy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they sat.
You know.
Sapnat started pulling his leg to his chest.
That's such a girl thing to do, but okay.
Oh, they're gay.
I think life carries on after death like light for stars do.
Dream
Ooh,
only
I love that
hummed.
little.
What?
I like that. I like that little star fact. Thank you.
Yeah.
Continue.
Um, Dream only hummed, taking another sip from his bottle.
I'm dying, Clay. No, okay, actually, I'm feeling something here. My little heart is doing the pitter patter. We're doing good.
Just
Continue.
imagine, like, yeah, I think life continues after death. By the way, I'm dying. It's like
Melissa.
something you don't just spring on some
Dying.
like this. It just kind of sounds like it's just being sprung. Like how like is it more into him? Like kind of like a yeah, I hope so, and kind of have like I don't know. Don't like it's for me that's funny like I'm dying, Clay, kind of like a like oh yeah, interesting, anyways, I'm dying, that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, you're meaning you're dying, yes. Like I don't know, I would change that personally because that like I should
Maybe
not be
tag
laughing.
it to tell us with what kind of emotion it's said with.
Yeah.
Sapnap saying this out of frustration after Dream brushes him off. Is
Yeah.
Sapnap saying this deadpan now that he has accepted this and now that he's finally telling the person who's responsible for this?
Mhm.
Like, tag it with some emotion. Tell
Yeah.
us how it's being said.
Or having it kind of like more of a build up of
Mhm.
like words rose out of him, he couldn't stop it, or like he knew it was something he wanted to say, or something along the lines of he wanted to say it or just couldn't, and he's finally just like, I need to say it, I need it to be done, I need it to be out there. I'm dying, Clay. Easy. Also, only
Sure.
time it has been referred to, like Dream has been referred to as Clay. Um, thing I have a gripe with is using both those names. Because the thing is that, like, have it say I'm dying Dream. Because, like, you use, like, we both use our real names every, like, sometimes, but not that often. Like, like, I even think when we're not playing, I call you Inky.
So, honestly, at this point, I just call you Alyssa all the time.
Yeah.
Feels weird to call you your real name.
Yeah, I hate my real name. Um,
I'll just keep calling you Alyssa then.
yeah, like I have a weird gripe against my name. I'm planning on changing it eventually once I move out and not under parents' control. Anyway, so we get to continue.
Trisha. Sorry, continue.
Um,
Anyways,
they caught Dream's attention. He choked on the drink, immediately wiping his whipping, whipping his head around to look at his best friend. I don't. Is that the right?
that was a you blunder. That was not
Okay,
them.
yeah, wiping
That
his
is
head
spelled right.
around.
Wiping his head around. Okay.
That was
Pull it
gruesome.
together. Bring it
Um,
together, guys. Come on. Okay. Um, what do you I cried about it for so long, but over time I learned to face it head on. I mean, It's inevitable. I learned that death is going to come no matter what, whether it's now, a few months, or 50 years from now, but you can't just sit around fearing it. You have to go on, do what you want to do with your life, and almost welcome it in a way. Face it head on, because there's no way to avoid it. Okay,
Here's the thing I would suggest. Put tags on who's saying what, because Inky has this problem as well.
shut up.
You do, though.
Also, it's a little bit repetitive.
Yeah.
Go back through it head on. Please find a different word for that. Um,
Break it up
Also
with
the
a lot
last
of
sentence.
actions is what I'd say,
Yeah,
because
break.
nobody sits and just says one thing for a very long time. Like, be like, I cried about it for a long time. Sapnap said while he was fiddling with his nails, like his fingers. I learned to face it head on. I mean, it's inevitable. I learned that death is going to come no matter what, whether it's now, in a few months, or 50 years from now. But I can't just sit around fearing it and have it, like he said, matter of factly. Kind of losing, like, kind of do like the more like he stated. You have to go on, do what you want to do with your life, and almost welcome it in any way. Face it head on because there's no way to avoid it, and kind of solidify that it's like he's saying this because it feels like something that's like a matter of factly of like he's understood this is gonna happen. There's no way he can stop it, even
Mm,
if things change or if they don't, it's going to happen. Whether it be soon or it be later, it's going to happen. Um,
mm,
so maybe explain that more. Explain more of his thought process during this thing, or like what Dream is saying from him, or his actions.
mm,
Because sometimes it's okay to show that maybe he's a little scared. Like,
mm.
because 100% it's one of those things of, like me, I say, yeah, I'm totally going to die alone. Like, I'm not, it's something that, like, for you, probably you hear me say that and you're kind of like, whoa. But also, like, okay, you've accepted it. And I kind of have at this point, but I've also kind of still in that, like, kind of denying it almost, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
anybody has truly accepted that they're going to die alone. If you
yeah,
really think about it, you know.
yeah,
Um, True acceptance doesn't happen. I don't believe somebody actually goes through true acceptance. There's always going to be a part um where they don't accept something, and whether that appears right now or later, it depends on the writer,
yeah.
honestly. Um, as you slurp your smoothie. Okay.
I finished it. It's fine.
All
I'm sorry,
right.
you know me. I can't keep tension.
Fair. Anyways, continue.
Elson Dream noticed how much paler, weaker Sapnap looked. What changed that? He looked to have lost quite a bit of weight too, and he swore he could hear him almost wheezing at his breath as he breathed.
Sapnap,
Oh yeah, we're continuing. Dreams started reaching out for his hand, only to quickly retract his own hand. Change that.
repetitive.
Gasping at how cold he felt. Hmm. He could tell
Mm.
it wasn't just from the cold air that surrounded them.
Okay, a little bit cliche, but it works. I like
Yeah.
it. Um, it's okay. Don't worry.
Tap tap nap. Oh God.
Sapnap.
Tap nap said, tears welling up in his eyes as his dream slowly scooted closer to him.
Glad I even had a chance to exist here with you.
Dream leaned into Sapnap as the other explained, coughing here and there, how rare and beautiful it was to even exist, how
I
he
want that
needed to
paragraph.
live his
Where is it? I want it. I
life
want it.
like
Why
he
don't
was
you
the main character, needed to live life without hate. Yeah, 100% make that a scene. Make that dialogue. You just, like, the thing is you said,
just drop it
you
on him?
basically did the thing of like, oh wow, I wish I could have seen it. I wish I was right. Like, I'm so happy. I'm looking right directly at the middle of the action, and like the camera's looking somewhere else. It's one of those things like I want those empowering words from Sapnap being like, yeah, it's like life is
Actually,
beautiful, life is pretty.
better way to describe it is that they're having just like a music over where you see them talking to each other from far away and from like different angles that just like slowly pan across the screen.
Hmm.
Like you know they're having a very emotional moment and you see them like hugging each other and stuff, but like you don't hear anything they're saying.
Yeah.
It's like a montage.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like it's almost like when I forget to like plug in my headphone correctly, or if I forget to like turn on the sound for like Inky or the game or whatever, it's like y- you're seeing stuff happening. You don't hear it, but
Mm, good.
something is. Um so like yeah, put something emotional in there because you just took away the emotion. You're in the middle of a scene to summarize something that happened, and I'm personally not a big fan of that because you kind of took away a moment from Sapnap there, I feel.
Hmm. To really bring us into Sapnap more.
Hmm.
Um, you want to continue or
Sure.
oh, who's saying this? I think it's Sapnap.
Whispered just
Never
as Dream,
know
yeah.
when your time is up.
He had whispered just as Dream started crying, tears slowly starting their descent down his face.
Remember, the universe was made just to be seen by your eyes.
Dream
I
had
think that's
asked,
Sapnap.
maybe? No, it's Dream because it's a separate thing. Um,
No, but I think it's Sapnap because of what's going to happen in the next paragraph. Sorry, I read over you.
Rude. Dream had asked him to say it over and over. Oh, yeah. Trying to engrave it in his memory, and Sapnap happily did, because he'd do anything to make Dream happy. Eh. They spent the rest of the night crying in each other's arms, never once letting go of each other. In the
Oh.
months leading up to Sapnap's death, again, I'd rather spring it on me than you kind of being like, by the way, he's gonna die. Don't get too attached. Like, you only do that with satire, I feel. Like, I just like I would 100% make a whole story that's like throughout the whole thing it's like, by the way, he's gonna die soon, so don't get too attached, or something like that. And then
Oh my
be like,
gosh.
you're crying now, aren't you? Wow, I told you not to get attached. Jeez. Okay, let's continue on. Are you done? Are you done? We good?
Mm.
We good? Okay, come on, let's go. Like I would like that's how I would use like that type of thing. Don't foreshadow something. It's ironic. I don't I don't know. I know I'd handle this differently just because I'm more comedic than serious.
I think it's just because, okay, full disclosure, I don't read romance fics. The romance is
Mossy.
only the subplot to what's actually going on to the rest of the fic.
Mossy?
So, if I'm very harsh in my criticisms, it's because I'm looking for more plot than just romance, and I feel like that's not why this fic was written.
Oh yeah,
So,
100%. But yeah. It's still like one of those things of like if it's a romance, I want the characters to be developed a bit more, and they've yeah, because like half of the story is plot, half of the story is characters, and like we understand the plot, but we don't understand the characters,
mm,
and I feel like that's the problem we're both kind of having with bits of here is we don't fully understand either of the characters. We just kind of like understand they're friends and that they
mm,
like stars, um, and that they never grew out of it. you
sure,
know?
you're right. Yeah, I feel like that's where the details will bring us more into the fic,
Hmm.
and into the characters and wanting to care more about them.
Yeah. You've done a lot of summarizing here, so I'd prefer to have like a couple of scenes in this fic than just like summaries, you know?
Mm,
Anyways, let's continue. Drina had asked him to say what he had said that night again and again. It was only when they were alone, it was always when Dream was crying. I would change that.
interesting
Um,
detail. Okay.
Dream felt as if he should have recorded it or written it down, but he never found the time to. He was so focused on Sapnap, he didn't want to ruin it.
Like there's something more there, but I can't decipher what. Continue.
I feel like, cause I feel like things could have been fixed. It's fine. Sapnap died on February 14th, exactly 2 months after the camping trip. It also happened to be Valentine's Day. Really? I would have never guessed. You could just say died on Valentine's Day. Like, that is in itself ironic. You don't have to be like, by the way, it's Valentine's Day. The one day that Dream had stepped away from practically coddling the 19-year-old to spend it with his boyfriend. Dream will never forget the image of Sam and Daryl sobbing over Sapnap's still body, yellow chrysanthemum petals surrounding them. He was given a note that Sam said Sapnap had written about 5 minutes before he suffocated.
Suicide note.
Technically not, just death note.
It was lovely to exist with you, Clay.
Now it was February 14th, 3 years
I
later.
got chills. Wow.
He lived his life just as Sapnap had told him. He lived like he was the main character. He didn't let anyone get in his way and lived life for both of them. Except he just simply could not live without hate. It was impossible because Dream hated yellow chrysanthemums.
It's
And we're done.
sad.
Yeah.
Blocks this fic. Blocks the author. No, 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 no.
Honey, no!
Gosh dang it, why is this sad? It's only
Yeah.
1,000 words.
I feel the the death was held okay. Um
Mhm,
that I would have recommended making more of a scene,
mhm,
cuz maybe having it where he gets a call, like Dream gets a call or gets comes in after late night or something along those lines of where he is notified that Sapnap just suffocated. Also, like, does Sapnap not have insurance or something? And he's just like, well, gonna die to this disease, not gonna
Which
try and get help for this.
19-year-old, what 19-year-old has life insurance? I'm 19 and I barely have a will. Yes, I have a will.
I don't. Um,
Yeah, I do. I
cause
have to.
yeah, that's cause you're rich. Um,
No, I'll
parents are
tell you later.
rich. But yeah, a thing I'd suggest with this is like, yeah, in
Live of the
general for the whole entire
fic.
thing. Yeah, whole entire thing.
Details.
Write meaningful scenes, cause you have scenes here that it's like you sort of got close to it, but after like you hit a point where you're just like almost as if you get bored and you kind of don't want to continue that, so you just kind of go, well, I'll just summarize the next bit. It'll be fine.
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna step in, and I'm gonna say this sounds like an outline. This sounds like how I would
Mm-hmm.
outline my books. Like I'm briefly summarizing everything that's happening. Maybe I'm going in, adding in a few lines that I definitely want to see in this fic. And I feel like the places where we pointed out, as well as others, like just go back. Honestly, I feel like this is a first draft. Go back through, second draft this, add those little bit of details, whether it's just another sentence or a full another paragraph, whatever you decide. I feel like there's so much potential for this fic that it could be so much better. Now, you did have a lot of great moments in this fic. I think
Mm-hmm.
your spacing was amazing. For example, some of it was a little weird, but most of it was amazing. However, I also uh say however as if I was thinking of something else. No, there is no other however. We're still going on about the good stuff.
Yeah.
You had some killer lines in there. You just need to build up to them a little bit more. And please find better descriptors for Sapnap. Stop
Mm-hmm.
describing him as the 19-year-old. It gets a
Because
little
aren't
bit
they all
annoying.
19?
It's the fact that you're bringing up the fact that he's 19. It
Yeah.
makes it seem weird. Like, oh, hey, remember, he's over the age of 18. He's
Yeah.
19 now. It's like,
And he's
okay,
under the age
prick.
of 21, so he shouldn't be drinking. That type of a deal. What I what I'd suggest is important moments, make a scene. And, like, write out the scene from beginning to end. Don't summarize it at all in any form. Say, like, this person said this person said this person said this person said
This is how
this.
this person reacted
Yeah,
physically to that.
yeah,
This person leans in, this person leans away. They are nervous, so they're tugging at their collar
yeah.
cuffs. The whole
Like,
shebang.
add a bit more character and almost personality to these characters, because to us they're kind of one-dimensional, and like the
Mm-mm.
only like the only reason it seems like, wait, also another thing, you said the sophomore in high school event. What
What is that
happened?
event? I need that event!
Yeah, like I would understand, like I was expecting you to kind of explain it later in kind of like a almost as like, hey, Dream, remember when this happened? You know, like you oh, what was it? What is it called? There's like this thing in like writing where it's like you show it in the first act, you hint at it in the second act, and then there's a payoff at the end. That's what I was thinking was going to happen,
I've
but
never
nothing
heard that
happened.
this in
We
my
didn't get a
entire
payoff on
life.
it.
I've been studying writing my entire life.
Yeah.
What?
Do you not know it?
No,
I can't remember
what?
what it was. But like the only thing I can remember it like like it was when I was watching a video where a guy described it of with Suicide Squad, where it was like guy had like a stuffed unicorn that at one point you see him stuff it into his jacket, and then you see him pull it out later on, and then like later, like he gets shot in the chest where that thing was, and he pulls out like a stack of money, and the guy's like, it would have been better if it was the stuffed unicorn, because like you showed it to us here, you hinted that it still existed here, we want that
Mm-hmm.
payoff, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah, would suggest 100% doing that type of a deal of like, if you're gonna say something, hint at it again if you want, maybe. Like in this fic, since it's so small, you don't even have to remind the people that it exists. Just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
maybe do the like if you want to remind them that it exists, do kind of like the hey Dream, remember this? Yeah, that was a very tough time in my life. You know.
You were there
Also,
for me. That's how I knew that we were soulmates. Bleh.
yeah. Um,
By the way, Sapnap, I have to go hang out with my boyfriend George. Okay, bye.
yeah,
Bleh.
yeah,
Eyes.
yeah. And I love how he's just like, ooh, that's rough, buddy. Anyways, you know,
Anyways.
like he's not even like he does. Like I wish there was like a little bit more trying, cause like he's got to know that Dream's the cause, but like we're not explained if he's told if Dream's the cause or not. Like if
My
Dream
gosh, we
himself is the
aren't.
cause. So like
What?
there's a lot of things in this fic that end up as questions that don't need to be, because this isn't a chapter fic. This is a one-off. So you can answer those questions. You don't have to like drag things out as mysteries. Like I don't know, I feel like there's stuff in some of my stories that are kind of like mysteries, um that I can drag out through the chapters because I can, but like with this, you don't have chapters. So don't drag it out, you know? Like write a
Mhm.
scene, like write scenes, make them meaningful, write them out. Don't just like write them and then summarize the most interesting bits.
Mhm.
Um and answer like the questions. Like if you like what might help you if needed is I think I even had it in one of my fics or like some
Mhm.
one of my things that I've been writing of where I go kind of like I need to answer this. I need to answer this.
Mhm.
Of like why
Mhm.
this happened, why this happened. Um kind of like oh, one of the things I have when writing characters is I make sure I understand why they're in this situation.
Mhm.
Um, so like new fic, it's like I explain it in like second and third paragraphs, I think. I explain how he got into this situation. Um, oh, like my D&D characters, this is
Mhm.
how they got into the situation. I legit had a story where I'm like, I've told you about it, the Nightmare Realm, where I had to figure out why the character was there because for like the longest time. I was like, why is the character in college? Why are they in
Mhm.
college? Also, what are their majors?
Uh, okay, honestly, this is where I'm gonna jump in and say I don't feel like it's important,
Yeah,
well, where
true.
their majors are.
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like they would have had at least some classes together. Like, I understand we didn't have any classes together, but that's also because I took like 5 classes. Like, I have a bunch of different college credits, as well as you were up a level in English for me. So like we
Mhm.
couldn't have similar classes in any form. But like if they didn't, they would have had like an English, like they could have had English together or a math or
Mhm.
science or UF 200.
Fang. I mean, fair, fair. Goodness grievous. Maybe it's just our school that makes you take these weird generals.
Well, I get English and stuff, but I don't understand UF.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, like just
Oh,
kind of
my
describing the
computer is
characters a bit more.
frozen. Whoops.
That's fun. Yeah, that's my whole thing of like getting char- characterization is the big thing here. We don't know the characters. We don't know who they are. Would 100% suggest you writing scenes. Inky, do you have anything to say? Or are you still frozen?
Yeah, I've said my piece. I've thrown in my nickel, and I am ready to take a nap for seven
Okay.
hours.
So yeah, I think I will end this here again. Existing Together by Netherite Tulips. A very fitting name for a Minecraft YouTuber. Oh, Hanahaki disease fanfic writer. Just a little bit too on the nose, I'd say. Um, I will be putting the fic in the description. So if you guys want to read it, please do. Send them love, comment, do whatever you want. Make sure they know that we don't mean harm. I'll be commenting on this um, and giving like kind of like a general like loved it. Here's the VOD of us reading it. Um, again, we aren't trying to be rude. We're not trying to be mean. We're trying to legit help you. We're not like if you notice we didn't say this was bad. We said, okay, you should change this bit. We want to help you with your writing. We're not trying to be mean in any form. If you took it as mean, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to. Um, but I I thoroughly enjoyed this. I haven't read one of these type like the Hanahaki disease in a very long time, if ever. But it's one of my
I've never.
favorite. It's I don't know why it's one of my favorite like fake diseases because I feel like it can be so implemented in a lot of things. Is that weird?
I'm only half listening. I'm so sorry. I'm literally just like in and out of consciousness right now. I am literally sleeping standing up.
Then we should call it a night then, shouldn't we?
Please.
Okay.
I'm out.
Um, real quick, loved hanging out with the flowers. We didn't have anyone in chat, but it's fine. I thoroughly enjoy doing this stuff. I don't know if Inky does. I assume you do.
You?
Um,
Yes, I love talking about literature. That's literally what I'm going to do for
yeah,
a living. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Let's do it.
like 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed this fic. Would recommend you go read it or just kudos it if you've
Go
watched
read
this.
it. Go give it a
Um,
kudos.
yeah, give
Comment.
him love.
At least
Give
a
him love.
hit. At least click on
Um,
the link.
yeah, give him some love. They need the love.
Those numbers mean a lot to us.
Yes, they really do. So please go give him love in some form. Um, but yeah, it was lovely being able to hang out with you. Lovely flowers. And see you tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try do perception unless someone else, like, we get sidetracked by doing something else. Because who knows? Things happen
Sure.
a lot.
Normally happens.
It's hard to figure out what is gonna happen from time to time ever. But yeah, so I can't wait to hang out again, you lovely flowers, tomorrow. See you all then. Bye!
Bye.